geospatial data acquisition liberalized. ठीक है. Why news? Because Department of Science and Technology has issued some guidelines that liberalize the use of geospatial data. Geospatial data मतलब maps, ठीक है, या aerial mapping या drone के through mapping. इस प्रकार का जो geospatial data है, जो हमारा mapping data है, उसको geospatial data कहते हैं. ठीक है. It can be 2-dimensional, it can be 3-dimensional. Sorry. So now Department of Science and Technology has released guidelines to liberalize it, because already all the data is already available on Google Earth and all such kind of mapping platforms. So government is saying that the thing that is already available cannot be restricted anymore. Why not benefit from it? It is like alcohol cannot be banned, because banning alcohol, of course, it is possible. Of course, government can ban, but banning alcohol is not a wise policy decision, in the sense that implementation of the ban will be a tougher thing to do. ठीक है. Moreover, why not regulate the sale of alcohol by charging very high tax? ठीक है. So similarly, so the data that is already available, why not make money out of it, and why not make it readily available and legally available, so that it can foster better business, ease of doing business. The evolution of mapping and surveying. 1767 Survey of India was formed, and it was given was required to map India topographically. ठीक है. 1923 में Official Secret Act. See, 1923 में Official Secret Act 1923 prohibited the dissemination of map data to any person who is not authorized. Okay, मतलब mapping was a very secretive, in the sense कि mapping was a very secure kind of thing. ठीक है. For 1965 में distribution of maps to 1:4M was allowed. It's a scale of mapping. ठीक है. 1:4M. ठीक है. Ministry of Defense. Now Survey of India was transferred to Ministry of Defense. ठीक है. Survey of India was transferred to Ministry of Defense, and Ministry of Defense issued guidelines as to how mapping of India is going to take place, and what kind of maps can be released and what kind of maps cannot be released. ठीक है. तो Survey of India was brought under DST in 1971. ठीक है. Under DST from Ministry of Defense. फिर 2005 में National Map Policy was launched, and Survey of India was again made the part of Department of Science and Technology, and also the nodal agency for implementation of all kind of mapping policies. ठीक है. तो National Map Policy 2005 ये था. It aimed to liberalize the access to spatial data. क्यों? Because after the boom of internet already, the spatial data was becoming important, and the availability of spatial data was becoming readily available. मतलब it was becoming easy. ठीक है. तो classification was done कि defense series map and open series maps, but Survey of India, ठीक है. See, you can also see that there was already accessibility of map increasing on the internet or the web, because it allowed the users to publish maps on hard copy or web subject to restrictions. ठीक है. And defense series maps were, of course, very sensitive, that contains sensitive data like the area of the cantonment, the location of the cantonment areas, and all this kind of data that only military could have. ठीक है. And the other was open series maps. Open series maps were readily available for the civilian use. ठीक है. Now, what are the recent guidelines? The first one is Indian entities will no longer require any kind of license or permission for owning or access to data or processing of data or production of geospatial data. ठीक है. Indian companies will not, for example, Ola is an Indian company. ठीक है. तो Ola will not require any more licenses for production of data. अभी क्या करते हैं हम? We take APIs from other companies like Google. ठीक है. तो अब API का कंसेप्ट क्या, बहुत स्मॉल में अगर हम समझने की कोशिश करें तो API के थ्रू एक्सेस कैसे हो सकता है. फॉर एग्जांपल, ये गूगल है. ठीक है. ये ओला है. ओके, सॉरी. तो गूगल हैज गूगल मैप्स और गूगल अर्थ. ठीक है. इट हैज अ मैप. it's processed and saved on some kind of server. ठीक है. तो when Ola needs to access Google Maps, ठीक है, क्योंकि हमें लोकेशन ट्रैक करके and we have to book our cabs. तो what it does is it makes an access protocol interface. ठीक है. It develops an interface through which the Ola ओके, ओला के जो सर्वर्स हैं, whenever you open the app, what you do is you make a request to Ola servers to make a request through this API to access the data from Google Maps. Okay, understood? So, but you can see that Indian company does not have the access to India's maps itself. Okay, because of this there are many kind of restrictions. ठीक है, तो इससे better Google के API से access कर लेते हैं. But now this restriction has been removed. That will allow Indian entities to own, access and produce and also process geospatial data. That is, now the geospatial data will be produced locally, accessed locally, है ना, by local entities या domestic entities. Okay. Only Indian entities can own. One important point is only Indian entities can own the data. Okay. But the foreign entities, if they want that access to data, they can access the Indian data what through API. जैसा अभी गूगल मैप्स, गूगल अर्थ वाले केस में हुआ, ठीक है, अगर गूगल को इंडिया का मैप एक्सेस करना है अपार्ट फ्रॉम गूगल मैप्स, ठीक है, ऑफ कोर्स इट हैज गूगल मैप्स देयर ओन डेटा. फॉर एग्जांपल उबर को, ठीक है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल उबर इज ऑपरेटिंग इन इंडिया, ठीक है. अब क्या हुआ, द रिस्ट्रिक्शन ऑन जियोस्पेशियल डेटा एक्सेस एंड प्रोटेक्शन हैज बीन रिमूव्ड. नाउ ओला विल डेवलप इन इट्स ओन व्हाट जियोस्पेशियल डेटा, ठीक है. अब क्या होगा, अगर उबर को एक्सेस चाहिए जियोस्पेशियल डेटा का इंडिया का, एंड इट डज नॉट वांट टू टेक फ्रॉम गूगल फॉर कॉस्ट और फॉर एनी अदर पर्पसेस, ठीक है, रिस्ट्रिक्शन, तो व्हाट उबर विल डू, उबर विल आस्क एन एक्सेस प्रोटोकॉल इंटरफेस API, ठीक है, and this will provide an access to geospatial data that Ola has stored on its own server through an API, ठीक है. Ola will not transfer the data in itself to Ola or Uber. It will transfer its request through an API. API is a gateway kind of thing, ठीक है. It's an access protocol interface that provides access to some kind of data that is stored on some other server, ठीक है. तो now Uber apps जब भी आप ओपन करोगे तो you will be accessing the data that is being stored locally on local servers, okay, by local countries, local companies, okay. Foreign entities can license data but they cannot own them. अब license data का मतलब क्या हुआ कि license के लिए they can use some license मतलब permission, they can of course use Indian data but they cannot own it, ठीक है. And only Indian entities can own and store, ठीक है, own and store if the data is 1 meter horizontally, ठीक है, इसको resolution कहते हैं scientific terms में, ठीक है, 1 meter horizontally, ठीक है, and 3 meters vertically. मतलब एक लेंस का अगर रिजोल्यूशन कर देखें तो कितना रिजोल्यूशन, अगर हम कैमरा का रिजोल्यूशन देखते हैं तो फोकस पॉइंट से होता है. तो if some satellite is mapping a data that is correct to 3 meters vertical and 1 meter horizontal, ठीक है, तो that data can only be used by and stored by, that data can used by other companies as well but stored and processed by Indian companies only, ठीक है. There shall be a list of negative attributes which will be regulated by DST. अब negative attributes क्या है, negative attributes मतलब some kind of properties, okay, that the Department of Science and Technology will regulate. What are those? कि जैसे नेगेटिव एट्रीब्यूट्स का मतलब होता है कि मैप पे आप कौन कौन सी चीजें नहीं प्रेजेंट कर सकते हो, लाइक लोकेशन ऑफ अ कैंटोनमेंट एरिया, ओके, लोकेशन ऑफ अ कैंटोनमेंट एरिया कैन बिकम अ नेगेटिव एट्रीब्यूट. नेगेटिव एट्रीब्यूट मतलब दैट विल नॉट बी एबल टू बी रिप्रेजेंटेड बाय सिविलियन कंपनीज एंड दैट विल बी ओनली यूज्ड बाय मिलिट्री पर्पस, ठीक है. एंड दैट देयर विल बी लिस्ट कि आप किन किन चीज़ों को मैप पे नहीं रिप्रेजेंट कर सकते हो, उसके लिए नेगेटिव लिस्ट बनाई जाएगी एंड लिस्ट विल बी अपडेटेड फ्रॉम टाइम टू टाइम बाय डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी. Terrestrial mobile mapping, that is kind of drone mapping. Drone mapping can be done by Indians only. Indian company ही इंडिया का ड्रोन मैपिंग कर सकती है, या गूगल में आप जाके स्ट्रीट व्यू देखते हैं, that can be done by Indian companies only, ठीक है. Access to geospatial data to foreign companies would be available through Indian companies, ये तो मैंने बता दिया, API के थ्रू एक्सेस होगा. all geospatial data in public domain which are not sensitive in nature would be made available. Any data that is not sensitive in nature, that will be made available to all the public, that is already available in public domain, that will be made readily available, okay, to improve the ease of doing business and to facilitate the use of geospatial data, and to make the access to geospatial data easy so that the companies do not invest in accessing that data from some foreign company. Okay. For political maps of India, okay, political maps of India, the survey of India maps published, जो survey of India maps publish करेगा, that will be standard ones, ठीक है, like Google Maps sometimes, या The Economist for example is a magazine or a newspaper you can say. The Economist published what? The map of India that did not contain certain parts of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, ठीक है, due to which the magazine was seized, ठीक है. तो Survey of India will standardize the political maps in India, that is the maps that the Survey of India issues, that will be called standard Indian political maps, okay. That is all for the geospatial data. Now mission intensified Indradhanush 3.0. Whenever you are reading this missions and schemes and government schemes, so you can observe that these missions and these schemes are not in silos, okay, they are not one singular mission, they have some kind of backlinking, and that is why UPSC is a different exam from other exams, okay, because you have to observe the evolution of a scheme, ठीक है, कि how this scheme got evolved into what it is, ठीक है, and that is what makes UPSC exam different from other ones. So whenever you are dealing with schemes, please go through please do some research on your own कि how this scheme came to become this one, ठीक है, like if there is a scheme for irrigation, why and how this scheme for irrigation has become right now, like is it being implemented from previous terms of government, and if it's being implemented in what manner, ठीक है, and how was it different, ठीक है, क्योंकि मेंस और प्रीलिम्स में बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, क्योंकि 2014, 15, 16 में बहुत सारे ऐसे क्वेश्चन आए थे बहुत सारी स्कीम्स पे जो कि इंटरलिंकिंग करते थे, तो स्टूडेंट्स वेंट टू द एग्जाम्स विदाउट प्रिपेयरिंग द बैकलिंक्स, ड्यू टू व्हिच they failed miserably despite the fact that they prepared for the exams and they prepared these schemes very well, because there were like questions on schemes which included at least one statement that was linked from the previous one, ठीक है, इसलिए it's very important कि आप schemes पढ़ते वक्त ये बहुत ध्यान से पढ़ें कि how this scheme evolved, ठीक है. ठीक है, तो मिशन इंद्रधनुष, okay, first of all it is a part of, it's an extended version of mission Indradhanush. Now what is mission in Indradhanush? Will be dealing with universal immunization in India, mission Indradhanush and mission intensified Indradhanush, the third version of which has been launched in February, on February 21, okay. Why news? Because the third version has been launched. Mission Indradhanush was launched in 2014, ठीक है. Now mission Indradhanush was launched in 2014 to re-energize and strengthen the universal immunization program. So UIP is a program, it is an overreaching program, but Indradhanush is a mission. Mission means to get some required output. Program is a holistic set of schemes, but mission is like in the Indradhanush mission, it is like in a very set frame of time we have to achieve some preset target, ठीक है. This is a quote, men and women were sick because they were poor, they became poorer because they were sick, and sicker because they were poor. That means it's a cycle, okay, it's a cycle. Men and women became sick. Why they became sick? Because they became sick because they were poor, and when they were sick they become poorer, and when they become poorer they became sicker, फिर poorer. This is a vicious cycle of sickness and poverty, okay. This is a vicious cycle of sickness and poverty. So you can use this in any place you wish. How can I restrict you? Okay. So universal immunization program. So the health and nutrition was a focal target from the very first plan of India. ठीक है. in the fifth 5-year plan, ठीक है, that was in from 1974 to 1978 I guess, ठीक है. I'm not sure when the fifth 5-year plan was launched. I think it was 1974 to 1978, but please do look कि ये कब लॉन्च हुआ था, ठीक है. तो फिफ्थ 5-year प्लान में सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट चीज क्या लॉन्च हुई थी? मिनिमम नीड्स प्रोग्राम. मिनिमम नीड्स प्रोग्राम वाज okay, please do note it down if you are having some notes with you. फिफ्थ 5-year प्लान में, ठीक है, फिफ्थ 5-year प्लान में, सॉरी, minimum needs plan. Minimum needs plan was to bring about the health and nutritional outcomes, to bring about at least the minimum intervention of public health services to what? The rural and underserved areas, ठीक है. Like इसका मेन मिशन क्या था? To bring about a public health service, ठीक है, health services, minimum kind of, मतलब at least there should be an intervention, ठीक है, public health services to the lives of women, children, ठीक है ना, in rural areas plus poor areas of course. तो मिनिमम नीड्स प्रोग्राम में क्या था कि मैटरनल हेल्थ, ओके, एंड चाइल्ड हेल्थ, ओके, दैट वर ब्रॉट अंडर द मैटरनल हेल्थ, चाइल्ड हेल्थ, ओके. मिनिमम नीड्स प्रोग्राम में पब्लिक हेल्थ सर्विसेज कैसे? मैटरनल हेल्थ प्लस चाइल्ड हेल्थ प्लस न्यूट्रिशन, ओके, न्यूट्रिशन वर ब्रॉट अंडर द फैमिली प्लानिंग, ठीक है, फैमिली प्लानिंग कंपोनेंट ऑफ मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ हेल्थ एंड फैमिली वेलफेयर, ओके. दिस वाज द फिफ्थ 5-year प्लान एंड मिनिमम नीड्स प्रोग्राम. मिनिमम नीड्स प्लान लिखा है, प्रोग्राम कर लो, सिंपल है, ठीक है. एम वाज टू प्रोवाइड मिनिमम लेवल ऑफ व्हाट? द पब्लिक हेल्थ इंटरवेंशन टू प्रेग्नेंट वीमेन, लैक्टेटिंग मदर्स एंड प्री स्कूल चिल्ड्रन, ओके. फिर 1974 में ही, ठीक है, सॉरी, 1974 में WHO लॉन्च्ड, 1974 में WHO लॉन्च्ड एक्सटेंडेड इम्यूनाइजेशन प्रोग्राम, ठीक है. इंडिया ने इसको लॉन्च किया 1978 में. इंडिया लॉन्च एक्सटेंडेड इम्यूनाइजेशन प्रोग्राम इन 1978. 1985 में this program, extended immunization program, which consisted of 6 basic vaccine preventable diseases, for example tuberculosis, मतलब child tuberculosis of course, pertussis, whooping cough, tetanus, poliomyelitis and diphtheria, okay, and measles. ये 6 वैक्सीन्स के साथ इंडिया ने लॉन्च किया 1978 में एक्सटेंडेड इम्यूनाइजेशन प्रोग्राम. 1985 में it was modified to universal immunization program and the reach was made universal, ठीक है. And the target of universal immunization program was to reach 90% of districts, to reach 100% of districts of India, 90% of children and 80% of women for at least tetanus, ठीक है. For pregnant women, the most important vaccine is tetanus, ठीक है. तो इसको 1985 में expand कर दिया गया and it was again launched as universal extended immunization program was launched as universal immunization program in 1985 and its aim was to cover all districts, 100% districts and 85% of the children and 100% of women, pregnant women, for the vaccination of tetanus. ठीक है. But what happens was it included 12 vaccines against the vaccine preventable. In the beginning, it included 6 vaccines, the ones that were included in extended immunization program. But subsequently, it was extended to 12 vaccines. ठीक है. It included 12 vaccines against the vaccine preventable diseases, ठीक है, to achieve self-sufficiency. And the goal of universal immunization program was, first very important goal was this one. The second important goal was this one, to achieve self-sufficiency in vaccine production. And the second one is to develop, to make ourselves self-reliant in the manufacture of cold chain equipment. Cold chain equipment is the foundation of vaccine delivery. ठीक है. So the 12 diseases were diphtheria, pertussis, tetanus, poliomyelitis, measles, उसके बाद pediatric TB, hepatitis B, meningitis, pneumonia and Japanese encephalitis. अब इसमें न्यू वैक्सीन्स और इंक्लूड किए गए हैं, रोटावायरस, IPV, न्यूमोकॉकल कॉन्जुगेट वैक्सीन, मीजल्स, रुबेला. ठीक है. बट ये न्यूमोकॉकल इन द बजट 21, ठीक है, बजट 21, 35,000 crore rupees, okay, 35,000 crore rupees have been allocated for COVID vaccination. But there was another important point that was made in budget, and that was extension of the pneumococcal vaccine, conjugate vaccine, to all of the country. अभी pneumococcal conjugate vaccine select districts में है, select states में, sorry, 5 states में है. ठीक है. 5 states में pneumococcal conjugate vaccine का ट्रायल मतलब ऑपरेशन चल रहा है. It is being given to children. ठीक है. तो in 5 states on a pilot basis. Now the budget 21 states that it will be extended to the whole of the country, and also stipulates that around 50,000 children lives will be saved every year after the expansion of this PCV, pneumococcal conjugate vaccine. It is against pneumonia. ठीक है. It is for pneumonia. So it will be expanded to the whole of the country, and it will save 50,000 lives per annum. ठीक है. तो that was universal immunization program. Now what is Mission Indradhanush? Mission Indradhanush was launched in 2014. Despite the fact that universal immunization program is one of the world's biggest immunization program, India's reach till 2010 was until 2014 was 65%. ठीक है. India's reach, okay, despite the fact that universal immunization program is one of the world's largest immunization program, the amount of 1 minute, sorry. Despite the fact that it is one of the largest immunization program, the reach of India's immunization till 2014 was only 65%. And another important thing was, from 2010 to 2014, the yearly growth of immunization was 1% per year. यानी 2010 से 2014 में yearly growth immunization का कितना था, 1% per year. यानी 2010 में the access of immunization vaccines to the population was 60%. फिर 1% per year annual growth होता चला गया. तो इम्यूनाइजेशन का कंसेप्ट क्या है? इम्यूनाइजेशन का कंसेप्ट ये है कि अगर हम सफिशिएंटली इनफ लोगों को इम्यूनाइज कर दें वैक्सीन्स के अगेंस्ट, ठीक है, तो वी विल गेट हर्ड इम्यूनिटी. ठीक है. दैट इज हाउ. लेकिन ड्यू टू द पुअर रीच ऑफ इम्यूनाइजेशन, इट वाज लॉन्च्ड इन 1985 से 2014 में रीच ऑफ इंडियाज इम्यूनाइजेशन प्रोग्राम वाज ओनली 65%. So what government did was, in 2014 they launched a mission under the universal immunization program. Mission means to accelerate the pace of vaccination. What they did was they launched a mission Indradhanush. It was launched in 4 phases. ठीक है. 4 phases. 4 phases में कैसे? मतलब हर 4 phases from, sorry, हाँ, 2014 से 2017 अगस्त तक. अगस्त 2017 तक 4 फेजेस में इसको चलाया गया मिशन मोड में। मिशन मोड में मतलब वैक्सीनेशन के लिए आशा वर्कर्स और तमाम प्रकार के वर्कर्स को भेजा जाता था और डेली इम्यूनाइजेशन होता था, दैट वाज मिशन मोड, ठीक है। तो अगस्त 2017 तक 4 फेजेस में 2.53 crore children have been vaccinated. In this mission, in these 4 phases, 2.53 crore children and 68 lakh children, pregnant women were vaccinated. Okay. And the rate of the coverage that was from 2010 to 2014, 1% per annum, the rate increased at 6.7% per annum from 2014 onwards. ठीक है। और इनका कवरेज का फोकस क्या था? चिल्ड्रन बिलो एज ऑफ 2 years एंड प्रेग्नेंट वुमेन हु वर आइदर अनवैक्सीनेटेड और पार्शियली वैक्सीनेटेड। मतलब या तो चिल्ड्रन बिलो 2 years हो जो कि वैक्सीनेटेड ना हो या पार्शियली वैक्सीनेटेड हो, जिनका कोई टीका छूट गया हो वो, एंड focus on lacking districts to help them catch up with the district that are having a better immunization rate. फिर इंद्रधनुष मिशन, इंद्रधनुष के बाद आया इंद्रधनुष इंटेंसिफाइड इंद्रधनुष, IMI means intensified mission इंद्रधनुष 1.0। अगस्त 2017 में फोर्थ फेज खत्म हो गया, फोर्थ फेज एंडेड, ठीक है। फिर मिशन इंद्रधनुष इंटेंसिफाइड लॉन्च किया गया 2017 अक्टूबर में। कवरेज अगेन चिल्ड्रन बिलो एज ऑफ 2 years एंड प्रेग्नेंट वीमेन सेम। Aim to increase immunization coverage to more than 90% in select districts and urban areas. The focus point was urban areas and select districts. Select districts जो कि बहुत पिछड़े हैं उनको, या hard to reach districts या urban slums ऐसी जगह है, ठीक है। Focus on urban slums and areas with migratory population, ठीक है। अक्टूबर 2017 से जैन 2018 तक ये मिशन चला, ओके। I'm sorry, I could not get the data कि intensified mission इंद्रधनुष में क्या कितना immunization हुआ, but that is anyway not important from exam point of view. What is important from exam point of view is evolution of this scheme, ठीक है। From 5th 5-year plan 1974 to 1978, फिर WHO 1974 में extended immunization program लॉन्च किया, इंडिया ने वही प्रोग्राम 1978 में लॉन्च किया, फिर 1985 में the extended immunization program was relaunched at यूनिवर्सल इम्यूनाइजेशन प्रोग्राम। फिर इट वाज इन 2014 द रीच वाज वेरी लो, जिसके लिए इट वाज लॉन्च्ड एट अ मिशन मोड प्रोजेक्ट, ठीक है, ओके। फिर IMI 2.0 दिसंबर 2019 टू मार्च 2020। अब IMI 2.0 मार्च 2020 में इसलिए एंड हो गया क्योंकि कोविड पैंडेमिक स्ट्रक, ओके, एंड 24th ऑफ द मार्च के अराउंड लॉकडाउन लग गया। फुल इम्यूनाइजेशन इन 272 डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स, इसका एम ये था, फुल इम्यूनाइजेशन 272 डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स इन 27 स्टेट्स एट ब्लॉक लेवल इन यूपी एंड बिहार एंड हार्ड टू रीच डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स। यूपी एंड बिहार के ब्लॉक लेवल पे जाके काम करना, एंड हार्ड टू रीच डिस्ट्रिक्ट लाइक लेफ्ट विंग एक्सट्रीमिस्ट LWE अफेक्टेड एरियाज, है ना। और मॉनिटरिंग थ्रू प्रगति, प्रोएक्टिव गवर्नेंस फॉर ट्रांसफॉर्मिंग इंडिया, इट्स पोर्टल दैट इज मैनेज्ड बाय PMO, ठीक है। तो यहाँ के थ्रू मॉनिटरिंग हो रही थी। चिल्ड्रन इतने वैक्सीनेट किए गए 37,09,956 एंड प्रेग्नेंट वुमेन 7,41,034 प्रेग्नेंट वुमेन वर वैक्सीनेटेड ड्यूरिंग द मंथ ऑफ दिसंबर, जनवरी, फरवरी एंड मार्च, ठीक है। नाउ IMI 3.0 हैव बीन लॉन्च्ड इन February 21। एम इज अगेन द एम इज यू शुड ऑलवेज रिमेंबर दिस, दिस माइट कम इनटू एग्जाम, ओके। 90% immunization coverage in all districts and sustaining the coverage through immunization, not only immunization but also sustaining the coverage, ठीक है। मतलब if there is someone left, तो he might become the case, or he might become the transmitting case. To sustain the case, to obtain the herd immunity, it's very important that we sustain, not only immunize but also sustain, ठीक है। तो किसी प्रकार का पार्शियल वैक्सीनेशन ना हो, ठीक है, पार्शियल वैक्सीनेशन ना हो, उसके लिए IMI 3.0 not only immunization coverage but also sustenance of immunization. The second, the coverage is children, pregnant women who have missed their vaccine, as demonstrated here. During the COVID-19 pandemic phase, migrant workers in hard to reach areas against and districts will be classified according to the risk assessment as to higher risk, low. Now Justice Juvenile Juvenile Justice Care and Protection Act 2015. Cabinet has okayed some amendments to this act. We are going to deal with what kind of amendment that have been proposed by Ministry of Child Development, Women and Child Development that were accepted by what the cabinet. अब cabinet ने accept कर लिया है, तो will these amendments become law? No. There has to be a law, a bill has to be brought into the parliament, ठीक है? But prior to a bill being brought into the parliament, the cabinet reviews it, ठीक है? पानी दे दो, ठीक है? Prior to a bill becoming, any amendment that a ministry proposes, see, you need to understand these things in a manner that you understand the governance of country, ठीक है? What happens is, for example, there is a law, ठीक है? There is a law. For example, Juvenile Justice Care Protection Act. अब ये लॉ किन मिनिस्ट्रीज के अंडर में आता है? Of course, Ministry of Home Affairs के अंडर में नहीं आएगा. Sorry, Ministry of Home Affairs, of course, is a part of that law. ठीक है? Like Ministry of Information Technology will not be a part of law. ठीक है? तो Ministry of Women and Child Development, MOWCD. ठीक है? That is important. Ministry of Women and Child Development. Ministry of Women and Child Development will review this law and will what? Try to promote some amendments. कि हमें भैया इस लॉ में ये अमेंडमेंट करने हैं. अब ये अमेंडमेंट कौन रिव्यू करेगा इन अमेंडमेंट्स को? कैबिनेट कमेटी, सॉरी कैबिनेट, ठीक है? कैबिनेट इज हेडेड बाय प्राइम मिनिस्टर, ठीक है? कैबिनेट इन अमेंडमेंट्स को ओके करेगी या क्या करेगी? रिजेक्ट करेगी. तो अब जो ओकेड अमेंडमेंट्स हैं उनको इंप्लीमेंट करने के लिए क्या होगा? एक बिल आएगा, ठीक है? बिल पार्लियामेंट में आएगा, ये पार्लियामेंट पास कर देगी, ये लॉ बन जाएगा. दैट इज दिस लॉ विल बिकम द लॉ. मतलब दोज अमेंडमेंट्स विल गेट रेटिफाइड एंड दैट दोज अमेंडमेंट्स विल बिकम लॉ. नाउ व्हाट वर द एक्ट? अगर कोई अमेंडमेंट आया है तो वी नीड टू फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल लुक इनटू द मैटर एज टू व्हाई दैट अमेंडमेंट हैज बीन ब्रॉट एंड what were the issues that the amendments address, or what were the lackings or shortcomings of the previous law that have been trying to address by bringing some kind of amendments. ठीक है? तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल जुवेनाइल जस्टिस प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट 2015 को हम देखेंगे. तो अब अगेन इट इज अ लॉ एंड इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फ्रॉम गवर्नेंस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, ठीक है? तो देयर वाज एन एक्ट, ठीक है? अब इस लॉ के इवोल्यूशन, जैसे हमने इम्यूनाइजेशन प्रोग्राम के इवोल्यूशन को देखा, वैसे ही I don't know what's happening. So there was an act, Juvenile Justice Protection Act 2000, ठीक है? 2012 and 13 में a very sad mishap happened. Basically, Nirbhaya case, if you have heard, ठीक है? निर्भया केस, एंड इसके बाद जस्टिस JS वर्मा कमेटी, ठीक है? जस्टिस JS वर्मा कमेटी was formed, ठीक है? जस्टिस JS वर्मा कमेटी was formed to review these laws. क्यों? क्योंकि one of the perpetrator in the Nirbhaya case was a juvenile, but the heinous act that he committed in this with the Nirbhaya, ठीक है, that were like that demanded that he be at least treated as an adult in the criminal justice system. But because of the age, that person was treated as a juvenile. Okay, due to which he got a lenient treatment from the justice system, and subsequently Justice J.S. Verma committee was made, and this committee made some recommendations. One of the recommendation was to amend Juvenile Justice Protection Act and bring a new law, Juvenile Justice Protection Act, and implement the committee's recommendation. One of the recommendation was to treat the children of the age from 16 to 18, if they commit heinous crimes, to treat them as adults. Okay, if a child between the age of 16 to 18 is committing a heinous crime मतलब a very devastating crime, so he should be punished, he should be treated as an adult into the criminal justice system. Subsequently, this Juvenile Justice Protection Act was brought, and there are some salient provisions of the act. But now what this amendment is trying to do is, this amendment is trying to put as much as children out of the adult criminal justice system. ठीक है, जस्टिस जे.एस. वर्मा की कमेटी रिकमेंडेशन था कि अगर 16 से 18 साल का कोई बच्चा है, उसने कोई हीनस क्राइम किया है, घृणित क्राइम किया है, तो ही शुड बी ट्रीटेड एज अडल्ट इन द क्रिमिनल जस्टिस सिस्टम. ठीक है, बट नाउ there were some, of course, the act had some shortcomings. The shortcomings will be dealing first with the provisions of the act. The act uses the word child or children in conflict with law, which is a departure from juveniles in the conflict with law. Juvenile Justice Protection Act 2000, ठीक है, mentioned juveniles in conflict with the law. However, there was a change of nomenclature in Juvenile Justice Protection Act 2015. That was, it mentioned child or children in conflict with law instead of juveniles in conflict with law. This represents the sensitivity towards the issue that the act needs to address, and the act also seeks to address. ठीक है, the act prescribes that the acts committed by children into 3 categories. Okay, petty, serious, and heinous. Petty crimes like thievery, serious crimes and heinous crime were made, but no clear demarcation was made. ठीक है, like अगर हम देखें कि heinous crime कौन सा होता है, heinous crime वो crime होते हैं जिनका minimum punishment 7 years होता है. ठीक है, any crime for which you get a punishment of more than 7 years, that is called a heinous crime in the judicial system. ठीक है, तो like for murder you can get more than 7 years, for rape you can get more than 7 years. ठीक है, तो ऐसे क्राइम जिनका मिनिमम पनिशमेंट 7 years प्रिस्क्राइब्ड है, those crimes are called heinous crimes. बट सीरियस क्राइम्स का कोई डेफिनेशन नहीं था. ठीक है, सीरियस क्राइम्स के लिए कोई ऐसा सख्त डेफिनेशन नहीं था. The act provided for setting up a mandatory juvenile justice board. Juvenile justice board is kind of a civil, मतलब जैसे सिविल कोर्ट की पावर होती है जुवेनाइल जस्टिस बोर्ड की, तो the act provided that every state shall form a juvenile justice board in every district. ठीक है, and also a child welfare committee that would be headed by child welfare committee जिसका एक member at least women हो. ठीक है, but issues with the act was non-compliance का सबसे, the act also mandated that all the child care institution या child welfare institution should register themselves with Ministry of Women and Child Development within the 6 months of the act coming into being. ठीक है, but there was a severe issue of non-compliance. Non-compliance कितना severe था आप इस बात से समझ सकते हैं कि not even one child care institution was found to be in 100% compliance with the ministry's directives. Not even one in the whole country. एक भी child care institution was not found to be in complete compliance with what ministry's directives. उसके पीछे वजह ये थी कि although the Juvenile Justice Protection Act 2015 mandated that people register, all the child welfare, child care institutions register themselves with Ministry of Child Development. But if the child care institution does not receive any reply from the ministry in 3 months, it should be deemed registered. Okay, what was that? अगर किसी चाइल्ड केयर इंस्टीट्यूशन ने अप्लाई किया है मिनिस्ट्री को रजिस्ट्रेशन के लिए, लेकिन मिनिस्ट्री ने 3 मंथ्स के भीतर कोई रिप्लाई नहीं भेजा, तो इट विल बी डीम्ड कि चाइल्ड केयर इंस्टीट्यूशन इज रजिस्टर्ड. दैट वाज अ फैलेसी. ठीक है, एंड दिस लेड टू अ लॉट ऑफ करप्शन एज वेल. Second is pendency of cases in various courts across the country. ठीक है, around 800 to 1000 court cases of juvenile justice are pending in several courts. Supreme Court made this observation in 2018. ठीक है, many states have not formed child welfare committees in every district. ठीक है, of course due to lack of availability of manpower and other administrative issues. The offences have not been clearly defined under the act. For example, serious crimes have not been defined. Although heinous crimes के लिए तो है कि 7 कि कोई ऐसा crime जिसकी minimum punishment ही 7 years हो, that will be called heinous crime. But serious crimes का कोई definition नहीं था. तो इन issues को address करने के लिए ministry has proposed some changes, and they are, first of all, defining serious and heinous crimes, and clear demarcation has been made. अब ऐसा कोई भी crime जो कि जिसका punishment 7 years से कम है, that will be called serious crime, okay, and not heinous crime. ठीक है, मतलब एक clear demarcation has been made. Background checks of the member of core child welfare committees, okay, sorry, child welfare committees would be done. पहले background check के लिए कोई provision नहीं था, and neither was there any eligibility criteria mentioned. ठीक है. Now it also expands the scope of children in need of care and protection. It expands the scope to victims of trafficking, okay, trafficking, and the children abandoned by guardian. ठीक है, okay. The last important and the most controversial thing is, this has been opposed by people on the grounds that it gives a lot of power to the executive at the ground level, or DM and ADMs. But this was to address the first issue. The first issue was non-compliance. Non-compliance के लिए को address करने के लिए now DM have been, and ADM of course, district magistrate and additional divisional magistrates have been given the power to give sanctions to the child care institutions. मतलब for example एक अनाथालय खोलना है आपको, तो now you will have to get the sanction from the district magistrate or any additional divisional magistrate. Also, now the DM and ADM have also been given power to what? To scrutinize or to regularly visit or inspect the child care, the premises of the child care institution. ठीक है, like the last year there was a case in Bihar जहाँ पे बहुत सारी लड़कियाँ एक अनाथालय में थी, and some wrongdoing was going on with them. तो but there was no check kind of thing. So to put those things into check, now DM and ADM have been authorized to go and regularly visit any kind of child care institute. ठीक है, and more importantly, to fasten the process of adoption. ठीक है, to fasten the process of adoption, there is a statutory body under Juvenile Justice Protection Act 2015, and that body is CARA, Child Adoption Resources Agency. That is Child Adoption Resources Agency. अगर आपको adoption करना है तो you will have to go through this body. This body will certify as to which child can you adopt, or even if you can adopt or not, है ना? So this body is the statutory certifying authority. Now to fasten the process of adoption, ठीक है, DM and ADM have been given power to issue orders. They can issue orders to fasten up the process of adoption.